everyone, welcome back to our channel.
Hello.
My whole family is here to greet you. We are here again to share our Bruno's cancer story with you and what we are going to share in this video.
So what we're going to talk about here today is about how we discovered that he has cancer, what we did immediately following our discovery, and kind of our reaction to that, and our recommendation to all of you guys, how to react and what to do, and just in general how to behave when you faced with something like that.
So first thing first, how we discovered Bruno's cancer. So we were traveling from Oregon to North Carolina. Throughout our travel, we didn't see anything, different in Bruno's personality, nothing which, potentially alarm us about Bruno's cancer. Our trip was very smooth and he was very happy and behaved like our normal Bruno. But when we reached North Carolina, one day I just gave a bath to Maggie and Bruno. And, after bath, Igor just discovered something.
What I noticed is that his breathing rate was kind of much higher and faster than it normally was. It's not like he was panting, because like he's panting right now, and that's normal. Dogs sometimes hot, sometimes nervous, or what. There's a lot of things that can cause dogs to start panting. So he wasn't panting. He was just laying down. His mouth was closed, and he was just breathing really, really fast. So what I did first thing is I went on good old Google and I looked up what's the normal breathing rate for dogs. Here's a piece of advice. I would suggest you to just know it from the top of your head. Just know what's the breathing rate for maybe a specific breed, because different breeds can have different normal breathing rate. But again, what Google told me, and again, disclaimer, I'm not a vet, so I cannot give you any type of medical advice or tell you what's right, what's wrong. But the average breathing rate for a dog of Bruno size is between 25 and 35 breaths per minute, and it's very easy to calculate. You need any specific equipment. You just need a timer and eyesight. So literally, you need to look at your dog, look at the chest raising and falling, and look at your watch and see how many breaths your dog takes per minute. Bruno's breathing rate at this time was, if I'm not mistaken, it was well over 65, 70.
Like
so it
80.
was something about 80. So it was more than a double of what normal breathing rate is, which immediately rang the alarm bells, because it's just extremely not normal. And I was just thinking about myself, if I'd be breathing like that, like my heart would probably be exploding. I mean, obviously dogs breathing are different from humans, but anyway, it was not normal.
And then we shifted from that hotel to the another one, and that night was a nightmare for us. That was the night when we thought that Bruno gonna die.
Yeah, it was tough, because at this time his breathing was not getting back to normal. It was still pretty bad. When I was looking at him, because we both were worried. The reason why we didn't take him to the vet immediately is because we thought maybe it's some kind of reaction to, it's an allergy. It's a summer, so there's a lot of pollens and all the other stuff. So we're thinking maybe it's an allergy reaction. Maybe it's some kind of reaction to his bath or something like that. So it was weird. But at this specific night, he was trying to lay down to sleep, and he couldn't, because I can see that the second he lays down, the floor or bed or whatever he was trying to lay down against pushes against his rib cage, and it would not let him breathe. He could not take a breath because his rib cage was constricted between the weight of his body and the surface he was laying on. So I was trying to make him comfortable, putting pillows around him, trying to turn him back and forth, trying to make him breathe and fall asleep, because I can tell that he's sleepy. He wants to sleep, but the second he lays down, he can't breathe. And he had to stand up, and he was literally standing, falling asleep. Then he tried to lay down. It was just torture for him. I could tell immediately.
Yeah, it's like I still feel goosebumps, and I still feel like to cry. And like whole night he was just, seeing us that, Mom, Dad, help me, I'm dying.
Yeah, it was worse. It was worse. He was literally looking us in the eye, and you can tell that he's confused, and he was literally questioning. He's like, "What's
Sorry,
going
guys,
on?"
I don't want to cry, but this is something when I'm.
Yeah, he was asking for help. He was literally asking for help, and that's when we realized that that's it. It's time for us.
And I
literally...
couldn't see in his eyes, because I had no idea what I can do for my dog. How can I save Bruno? And he didn't sleep all night, and Bruno was like, "Please help me," kind of a situation, because dogs do not understand what is going on with them, but they have some kind of idea that something is not right, and they just, like, Bruno just want us to help him. We were like in a shock. to see Bruno like that, and we thought that we're gonna lose him.
So that same night, we decided to take him to the vet
Emergency.
finally. So we immediately looked up the nearest emergency vet. It was about an hour away. So we drove there to emergency vet. They performed X-rays. They did some other tests. As far as I can remember, his blood test came back normal. Maybe some values were elevated in something, but nothing to really be concerned about. The X-rays were just bad because they showed it to me, and they did chest X-rays. And what normally you should see on chest X-rays, whether it's dog or human, it should be black. Well, not fully black, but your lungs should look very, very dark, like blackish, dark type of spot on your body. His lungs were nearly white because of all the metastases that went there from his cancerous growth. His lungs were not doing their function. They could not filter air, and he was literally choking to death from the inside, and there's nothing really could be done about it. Obviously, the doctors at the emergency room, they're not oncologists. They kind of just tell us, hey, that definitely looks like pretty severe case of cancer, and obviously,
And that is something we don't want to hear, not at all, and we were not ready, but something inside my heart keeps saying me that this is gonna be the cancer. And our reaction was when doctor told us that it's a cancer. Of course, I start crying at the same time, and he tried to hold, but the minute we went to our car, he was crying, I was crying, and we had no idea because we seeing Bruno, and we were like that. Please, sorry, Bruno, we are bad parents.
I mean, you can never be ready for this news, obviously, and that's another thing we want to talk to you guys about is about how to react and how to probably not react. So, first of all, you got to realize that the vets, like a lot of other doctors, they speak in technical terms, and they treat a lot of things as a daily routine because every day they see a lot of dogs and cats and other pets and animals pass through, die, get better. So to them, it's just another case. To you, it's your one and only. So one thing I want to tell you right away is just be ready for doctors to be very technical and very unemotional about it. Don't think that doctors just don't care. It just helps them. Yes, talking about you.
Yeah,
talking about you. Talking about you. Don't blame doctor for it. Again, it's their job. They're doing their best, and they pretty desensitized when it comes to giving people bad news. Just listen to everything doctor tells you. Ask for options. Ask for what's going on right now. But at the same time, when you're asking for options, don't take one doctor's advice as 100% truth and the only solution that you currently have. Because some doctors will just tell you the best way is to just put him down because he or she is suffering. Don't do it unless you really don't care about your pet. Don't do it immediately. Again, we are not the type of people who would ever put our dog down because, again, we treat him as a kid, and I would never take my child to the doctor and tell him, you know what, he's suffering too much, just shoot him in the head. I would never do that to my child, and I'll never gonna do that to my dog as well. I know a lot of you guys probably not gonna agree there with me, but again, it's your right to agree or not agree. Ask for different ways of treatment. Ask for different types of medication. Another thing about your reaction, obviously, it's gonna be very emotional and difficult time in your life and in your existence as a pet owner. Don't give in to your emotions immediately. I mean, you probably have to give in to your emotions for some time, but
I can share little thing about myself. I almost gave up on a food, and he's the one who forced me to eat food. For good whole week I didn't eat anything because I was keep crying, and he was like, Aarti, I'm taking care of Bruno. Do you want that I have to take care of you right now also and need to put you in a hospital because you are not eating? So don't do that because it's not gonna solve anything, and you're gonna play with your health too. Because in situation like this, you have to be strong. I am not, but thankfully my husband is very strong, and he actually took care of Bruno and me that time.
my recommendation, get a dog insurance now. If your dog is perfectly healthy, if you have a healthy new puppy, get a dog insurance. Look for good insurance because there's a lot of dog insurances there which will cover a lot of cancer treatment, and cancer treatment is not cheap for humans. It's not cheap for dogs as well. It's very pricey. It's very expensive because there's a lot of experimental, a lot of things that work better, a lot of things that work not as good. But invest in the insurance, and hopefully you'll never have to use it. But again, if you love your pet, if you love your dog, or if you love your cat, or whoever that is, whatever that is, you have paying $30, $40, $50, $60 a month for peace of mind that if something goes wrong, you will have ability to take care of it. do it. I mean, you have a car, you paying for insurance every month, and how many times a month or a year or every 5 years you crash your car or total your car? Maybe once, maybe never, but you're still paying 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 20, $200 a month for your vehicle to be able to drive it. So do the same thing for your dog.
Don't want to make a very long video for you guys. We will try to cover certain more important things in our upcoming videos, and if you want us to continue this series, please let us know. And our videos,
I mean, we don't really care if you want us. We're gonna make the series anyway.
yeah, but our videos are for the people who treat their pets as children, because what we are going through, we do not want that anyone, you know, see the same time like what we are seeing right now.
See you next time.